Chris Haig and this is the Fiddle channel. Today we've got 20 rock violin licks. A lot of the stuff we're going to do today is based on my book Discovering Rock Violin. Towards the end I'm going to give you lots of shredding licks, and right at the very end the most valuable lick of all, which I will explain when we get there. But first of all I'm going to show you a few useful licks for not getting in the way too much, and also I'm going to try and explain the rationale behind some of the licks. So we're going to start off with the kind of stuff you might do when you're not playing a solo but trying to find something useful in the background. So most of these kind of licks are going to be based on two-note chords. So if your chord is G, then you want two notes that make up part of the chord, and what I find really useful is finding my way around the scale, which I pompously call the twin paths of destiny, because with it being rock you've got to have some kind of hard name for it. So it's basically a scale with a fourth below the melody note of the scale. Now what this allows you to do is to play a double stop for the chord that you're playing on and only have to think about one of the notes. You don't have to think about two, because your fingers automatically know that scale. So if we're in G, a nice one might be going from to there. So it might be just, or, but yeah, a very nice one, and this is lick number one, is it's a big stretch, but we're flattening the seventh. Now, most rock violinists actually want to be rock guitarists, but they got stuck with the wrong instrument. So a lot of rock violin playing is actually fantasizing about being a guitarist. So a lot of licks on the violin sound a lot like a lot of guitar licks. So now that's an example of a G major chord with a flattened seventh. So if we were to play, then ouch, that is not rock, but flatten that seventh and it's got attitude. And also the syncopation is really important. Da da do da ba 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 down. That kind of punchiness really makes a strong riff. If we add a flattened third as well as a flattened seventh, then we get something like this. So this again is over a G major chord, but we've got that which is a flattened third. So flattened third, flattened seventh. A guitarist might actually be playing a chord without any thirds in, and the literate guitarist will write this down as G5, which is a bit of a mystery. What it really means is, because every chord has got a 5, but what they really mean is we're leaving out the 3. Power chords is one guitarist trick where basically they leave out the 3, and we can do that by playing parallel fifths. So a lot of rock licks are based on this flattened third and flattened seventh, and made up into a scale that gives us the minor pentatonic scale. And you can make a lick from that by triplets ascending. A bit faster. Now if you add to that pentatonic scale, if you add a flattened fifth, then what we've now got is a G minor blues scale. And you can make lots of licks out of that. Or with the, as a power chord. So I'll show you the pentatonic scale and the blues scale played over a sequence. So the first time round I'm going to play the pentatonic scale, and the second time I'm going to play the blues scale. Blues scale. Now let's shift up to the key of A, and I'll show you some licks based on the blues scale. And these are the kind of things used by Papa John Creach. So we're in A major, but we're doing a flattened third. And then you've got what I call the double E lick. And some people call this, if you alter this slightly, it becomes the Chuck Berry lick. Another Papa John Creach. And then the harmonica lick. Now let's put some of those together. Now guitarists have a thing called a hammer-on, where the fingers basically bang up and down on top of open strings, and we can do a nice one with so we're using an open E, and we're in third position, and we're using the third finger and the first finger. Let's try that against some chords. Now you can make a nice lick with the Mixolydian scale, which is something like that, and descending. So if you're playing in some kind of prog rock band, then this lends you an air of esoteric Eastern mysticism, which people will be very impressed by. Now one very common trick with rock violin is what's called artificial feedback, and this is basically when you use low pressure on the bow or low pressure on the left hand and an increased speed of the bow to get not clean notes but dirty notes. You can also bring the bow up closer to the bridge, and if you combine that with a blues scale and a kind of trill, add the harmonics, nice dirty sound. Another guitarist trick is the pick slide. So I'm putting first finger across a harmonic G and D, sliding all the way down to a G and D. That's rather a nice one. It's one that you wouldn't want to overuse, maybe once or twice in a gig. Now, I promised you some shredding licks, and here's a nice one from Graham Smith, who was the Van de Graaff Generator fiddle player. It's a series of 3 different 3-note arpeggios. So first we've got 4-2-0, then 3 open 2, then into third position 3-1 open. So this could be either in tempo or it could be fast. Let's hear that in a kind of a steady tempo. Here's one from the Italian band PFM, who had 3 different violinists, and this is third position, first finger on an A note, and we're just rocking up down, either slow or fast as you like. Now we've got a few shredding licks in E. So this is second finger, fourth finger, and again as fast as you like. Turn that upside down and you get, so it's 4-2 open. Then we've got a slightly more complicated pattern. So third position, starting on a second finger, and we're alternating with an open E. So it's 2-4-2-1. So then we've got a sextuplet lick, which is one where we're trying to fit 6 notes in where we had previously 4. So you can't actually play it as fast as the previous ones. It's and then we come to the most important lick of all. Take a good look at this, take a good listen. I can hear birds outside, I can hear no playing. The important lesson here is not to play all the time. Remember that rock violinists are the spice, we are not the meat and the potatoes. And although you may look around at the drummer, the bass player, the guitarist who are playing non-stop the whole evening, you might think, I really want to play non-stop the whole evening. People actually don't want to hear the violin the whole evening. When you do a solo, it wants to be something special. You might find places to do useful things as rhythm, but really you don't need to play all the time. And in my early years I did lose several jobs by doing or trying to do exactly that. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Take a look at my book, Discovering Rock Violin. It has chapters on jazz rock, folk rock, prog rock, metal. It has a lot of theory, it has a lot of licks, and it mentions a whole load of different rock violinists. European, British, American. 150 different violinists are mentioned in this book. So you've got a lot to get on with there. Hope you've enjoyed this. Send me an email if you subscribe and I can send you a copy of all of the licks. See you soon.